るのか
And Crew bring it right back, forcing a mat 3, and what a match that was on Breeze. Hello, everyone. Golden Boy here, alongside Baby and Mimi as we break it all down. Lots of fun stuff to talk about there. And I think, it just makes the most sense. Let's just jump right into it. Talk about Kesnet. The man was popping off. It was great to see. But this whole Crew lineup was cooking, man. It was great to see them really start to find themselves midway through that game, Baby Bay. And now here we are. We're going to mat 3.
Full momentum shift. I think for the first time in quite a long time, I've seen Aspas hold the S key and get ran down. So it was a sight to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane stuff from this Crew roster, right? I mean, they're coming out after a brutal map number 1 loss.
Yeah, they got destroyed.
They got destroyed utterly. And Adam was talking about it. The team felt confident going into the next one. But then it started rough here, too. They lose a flawless pistol round. Yeah. But then that ace we just watched from Kesnet was absolutely the turning point. He starts to heat up. And in that second half, they were just looking like a new team going on a massive streak to take it into overtime and pull things back. I think really proving that this roster can face the best. They can go up, they can get punched and rally back, and you see an absolute reversal in those stats from the first to the second match.
This has been insane. I mean, this is what we expected. I mean, when we watched that first map, we were like, what is happening? Yeah. And even on the second map, I thought that Lev, for a second, we're going to run away with it. And the back and forth battle and Kesnet just bringing it back, getting that ace and getting the momentum for his team.
I feel like we were even seeing some good stuff from Lev, like the round they go for, like that deep hole split onto his. I felt like they were making some really good calls, but these late round post plants so consistently. Crew was coming out with some excellent synergy between these players and just some crazy individual moments to win out these retakes round after round.
Yeah, you saw the frustration on King's face in that 1-1v1, and he was frying. I mean, granted, a lot of the kills that he had were, exit kills.
But still, in the important rounds, you were still seeing those impact.
That 1v1 with Melzer versus King was insane.
I mean, he would have aced if he had won that round. It could have been a completely different story in the map.
Yeah, and they were right. We saw boom.
They were right there. They were literally on the precipice of being able to win this and ending this series 2-0. But instead, you get Crew fighting back, and now they find themselves in this position here. You could tell, too, one thing that, I don't know if it's been stated enough is at the end of that game, when they finally won, you could see the emotion, the excitement. You can tell that this Crew team wants to end this, Mimi, with a flawless run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point, they already have their number 1 seed locked. They're already into playoffs. And yeah, you're right. Leviatán
got
with
the number 1 seed, so we got what we wanted.
That's the thing. At this point now, Crew...
It's all pride.
It's all working out. It's all about pride. It's all about proving you're best. The flawless run for Crew. Or Lev just getting to prove they're the best from LATAM now. It's really that pride on the line. But you can tell both these teams are still so invested.
Yeah, well, it now comes down to one final map to determine who is the best of the region. This is going to be awesome. We're moving over toward Lotus for our final map of this series. Now, we got a little bit of time here, so let's go ahead and break down what fans should be expecting to see in this Lotus game, baby, because we get a lot of the jet battles back and forth, but now we're going to be mixing things up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be the Battle of the Raises. That's the name of the game right now. And Crew, they're no slouch on this map. They're what, 2-0, you were telling me, Mimi?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't played this one a lot, but they did get a win early on against one of the Brazilian teams and then beat EG here, too.
Yeah, and EG's no slouch on Lotus. They usually cook on a map like this. Everybody knows they won the championship on it. So to beat a team like that, I mean, that means something.
So this is going to be a fascinating matchup that we're going to see unfold here. I am curious, though, if, look, I mean, honestly, the question is who comes out on top here? Who do you, now we're at this point, it's a BO1. Who takes it?
I honestly think so much of this game is momentum and form, and Crew is so hot after that last win. That's been the defining factor of their whole season, right? Match after match. It's how they did their LCQ run. When this team is confident, when they're on a roll, they're really a difficult squad to stop. But also, Leviatán, I'm looking at Aspas on Raze. I've been more impressed with his Raze than his Jet thus far this season. And I think that their calling on this map has been great when we've seen them play it. I love what Mizzino can pull off on the lurks here. If there was a team to have confidence in, to come back and regain momentum, it would be Lev.
Yeah, but for the Crew side, like you were saying, when they do get that momentum, they're crazy. And you know who's been a standout for me? Somebody who a lot of players thought was really toxic in the scene, and maybe he was previously, but we saw Heat in that last map calm his team down and be like, yo, I saw him looking around like saying, yo, we got this. And it was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing with my eyes.
He seems like a different player this season.
Kesnit's different, he's different. They all have a same track brain.
Well, it just goes to show you, you know, like sometimes you just need a little bit of a change of scenario, change of location for you to be able to like find that rhythm, and Heat has done just that.
Yeah, sometimes you have to fly too close to the sun, get humbled, get dropped by the second worst team in the league, and then you come back and you look great.
A lot of people could use that.
Yeah, so, I mean, in your second year, it's been wonderful. Crew going back into that default comp, we shouldn't really expect anything different from Leviatán here either.
A mirror.
Shocking.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
We've talked a lot about the duelist head-to-head, but I actually was super impressed with Calm in the early stages of this series. He's been the guy who, from the early failures of Lev to their recent success, has leveled up so much for this squad. But it all comes down to this. A flawless season or Leviatán getting to prove the best in LATAM as they head to playoffs.
Leviatán already accomplished the objective of getting that first seed, but the question remains, who is the best of Latin America? Let's go ahead and send it over to your casters to call the action for map 3. It's, of course, Uber and Wyatt.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. Yes, Leviatán essentially have locked up their top spot in the group. So in terms of playoff implications, it's rare lately to have a game that doesn't have any of those. But we saw on their players' faces. We saw it on Crew's faces at the end of their map. They want this win so badly. There's so much more than, seeding and numbers on the line. The amount of pride on show out there is immense.
I would have loved to have told someone who just finished watching last year's regular season, hey, did you know that Crew and Leviatán are actually going to be the 2 top seeds in Americas next year? Because, well, they wouldn't have believed you, and they would have been right to not believe you. This is a ridiculous world that we find ourselves in. Both of these teams so impressive this season. Lev beginning on defense on the Lotus, a map where they really blew me away against G2, who were more than a formidable opponent.
I love this. They've watched the footage. This is classic Lev to group with 3 and play that B main at the start of the pistol. Crew are waiting for it.
And the pace now that they're moving through tree, gonna play it safe. Get into that site, get the spike down. Only Tex to contend with.
Not too shabby. That's 2 for Tex. Going down immediately after, but gives Lev a fighting chance in this round. Mazzino. Hunter and Gatherer just getting his dinner. As well as an attempt. Unraveling this setup for Crew, but Heat barely a break in stride as he punches one through Mazzino.
Well done from Heat, the man who joined this team at the beginning of the stage. And a lot of question marks around him, Crew. Meager performance in Kickoff, an odd roster move that was not one that they were even expecting. It was one that was kind of forced upon them, and he's more than rose to the occasion, more than filled into this team. And so everyone's surprised, frankly, looking like the missing piece of the puzzle on the initiator role. And now Crew carrying some momentum over into this game, winning that pistol. They're going for the multi-Vandal buy, so they have a more reasonable, stronger buy on their bonus round after this.
Playing for the Alt Orbs, Lev at the early stages on that A-long. Klaus here very non-committal about his A presence. It's about to get a high-low setup, rather. Aspas takes his head clean off.
And that's going to bring Crew to have to go back into spawn, weary of those players pushed up A.
They're going to re-hit that A now, but may have to spend some util on the clear.
He does have 1 Prowler, but they're actually just going to contact through. They're going to have to clear out back rubble, make sure that no one is hiding in this corner, which he's going to right now. They're going to make some noise, a lot of spam, and just fall off.
Oh, I love this.
Oh my God,
I love this.
Drawing them over like a moth to a flame. The entirety of Lev over on the A side now. The freest sight for Crew over at C.
The bounce back between these extremities, hard to keep track of as a defending team with limited information gathering capacity.
30 seconds
In
left.
we go. Lev, though, realize what is afoot right now. And King still pretty conservatively is making his way here on a later flank.
No real post-plant utility for Crew, so they're going to have to play crossfires, especially with this spike plant position. They can't play far back.
That was Mazzino taken down there back in halls. Heat having to fold around the corner away from the Prowler. It's going to be Aspas and Tex to fall. They know King is out there. There was an alarm bot that triggered his presence. Every contingency accounted for by Crew.
And look at this already. Heat is one ult orb away from the Nightfall. They could choose to fight over C-Mound or towards A, get that into his hands and try to convert this bonus. And again, they had bought 2 Vandals on that round as well for the purpose of having a good buy on this bonus round with stronger weaponry than Spectres, SMGs. And if they get the Nightfall, they've got a legit shot of running away with the game a little bit here early on. Not to get too ahead of myself, but looks like Lev, they're going to go for some early mound control. That one-way smoke going to come up, and Aspas and Mazzino going to push pretty close in off of it.
Counter smoke there for the attackers just to basically deny what that one-way would give you. Always look for Aspas on these defensive rounds. That's when Lev wants to pop aggressively. Look at the cycle door. Everybody into tree.
So fast into sight off the Prowler now and the Paranoia.
King saw nothing in the end, and he's going to be caught outside of the play. Tex, the lone defender on A proper, was already taken down. King at least rewarded for his patience. But now 3 players from Crew shacked up inside A with Heat in tree.
And Heat's still 1 orb away from the Nightfall. If he gets 1 kill, it'll be online.
Some stairs presence now. Mazzino with the smoke over towards that A site. The Paranoia to be played off of here with a potential explosion from stairs by Aspas. There's the Noia. King cycling that door here, but Mazzino able to bring Melza down. Here's Aspas. Can he do more? Just the one. Just the one. And Crew lock it down. Such a confident push en masse onto that A site.
The crossfires were perfect, but partially perfect because King didn't get through the door in time. So he was just able to swing out of tree. A small little mistake and everything falls apart. And Crew, the decisiveness, the acceleration early on in that round to get into the site through tree. When Shy was over on the opposite side of the map, saw that aggression coming C, and they just went for it. And that's what we saw on Breeze when they were finding success on attack. It's when they were explosive, fearless on these fast hits.
Aspas now to play for that A orb. Again, you see wherever Aspas is, it's where Lev like to push up onto that extremity. Mazzino defensive smoking here on the C side. And I'm curious to see if Aspas would dare cross this line. There's a Nightfall over towards C here. Crew slowed up a little bit by this smoke. The Prowler will herald their arrival though. Melsa might need to still smoke on C before they go for it.
This is actually quite scary for Crew. They're going to try and get into the site now. They still have the weapons advantage, and now the Lev players relegated off site.
Paranoia here for Mazzino. That's really all they're going to be playing off of. A C's to work with, perhaps. Kesnit forced away from it though, and they hear the door open. Lev try to go for the pinch. This is classically them. No lives exchanged in that little encounter, and King chooses his moment to explode there from Waterfall. Is good for the 1. In the 4 versus 4, Kesnit though has supremacy in weaponry, supremacy in reaction, and in teammates.
Well done from Crew to clean that thing up. It was getting a little scary for a moment there when they couldn't get in off that Nightfall, creating some space. Kesnit brings things, back to reality. A great performance on Jet on Breeze, less so on the first map, Ascent. But it's really on Raze where Kesnit has made a name for himself. Historically, when Crew have gotten big upset wins, went on runs, it's because of that man right there on the Raze, playing maps like Lotus where it's so favored.
Com has an Odin here inside tree. Lev don't actually go for an aggressive poke up now. So they've kind of missed their window if they were looking for an engagement at A. Crew start by probing at B. There's no real Killjoy util to contend with for them here. Kesnit opts not to go to upper, but that's something that King is still going to have to check. I wouldn't want to be checking this right now. Kesnit fires off the showstopper, and King descends on Heat.
Now the counter showstopper popped as well. Not going to get any value, but didn't need to. Klaus trying to hold down Baby Door.
The nade's going to force him to the right to play that close angle. He might find something here despite being paranoid. No, Aspas wings out. Now to Kesnit in a 1v2. Absolutely doable. But that TP is going to cause a problem. A virtual high-low setup put together between Tex and Mazzino. and then leverage it for their first round win here on Lotus.
So you look at that swing from Lev into Babydoor, Aspas satcheled, and at the same time with the paranoia and Mizzino TP'd even deeper. That was so sick to root Klaus out of that position. I like the idea from Crew though. I mean, their economy is very strong. They haven't gone for really much action on B, so they just walk up, explode into the site off the Raze ult, just mixing something different in, but it was really nicely dealt with from Lev. Of course, you know, one of the main issues when you're going into B from that, you know, all from main is that you're going to get pushed from Babydoor quite quickly from the A players, especially if they stacked up there early, which Lev did. And they're stacked up there early again. There's going to be a big brawl here in Rubble.
Com here still have that Odin to work with. Again, the same level of commitment though from Leviatán. They aren't playing Rubble, and now they explode as soon as that wall comes down. Aspas mows him down. Happy to trade the 2-for-1 now as he will be looking to take a fight. Just a raw fight for Heat. And he gets there. More raw than Liver King's diet, I'd say. Oh, stunning stuff. Inside the seas, absolutely unbothered.
You have got to be kidding. What a great timing from Heat. The awareness that he could push up in that moment, get through the smoke, make the play. And it was little moments like that that it felt like Crew were always on the receiving end of on Breeze and certainly on Ascent. But now they're the ones making the plays. They're the ones reminding everybody how talented individually they are, which has just been the catalyst of their success this season. We have seen all 5 players activated at different times on different maps. You, of course, expect that from Kesnet. You expect that from Shy in the late round. But Melser stepping up, relieving himself of the IGL duties, those being passed to Klaus, who's even stepped up individually while IGLing, looks more comfortable.
And he just distilled that audacity we see from Kesnet and doused himself in it. Hotel Ardeus, you know what I mean? That just walk through the smoke is something you don't account for. It kind of breaks the conventions, the generally agreed upon conventions of Valorant at times. And that's despite these early heroics from Aspas. It's a good opener for Leviatán, but they're not really pushing to fight Rubble.
They feel like they can just back off. They've gotten the advantage, right? And now a timeout is being called from Lev, down 5-1 here. After map 1, it looked like the series was a sure thing. After the first half of Breeze, even more so. We were just waiting for what felt like the inevitable result. And now Crew, the LATAM rivals of Lev.
Man, they are looking like a different team. Could contrast map 1 with right now. The difference is absolutely night and day. All it takes is a spark.
So heading into this next round for Lev, their economy is in an odd place. They could try to force up, but not all the players are going to have rifles. They might just end up buying what they can, making sure they have a full buy on the next. They're also very close to a couple really big ultimates at the moment. And oftentimes that's when you're going to see a team take a timeout, right? When you have a lot of ults to work around, you want to make sure that you don't waste them, that you lock up the round when you have that big advantage.
You need a deterministic round win, right?
Absolutely, and you can see Tex 1 away there from the lockdown, Calm 2 away from the Nightfall. And they are going to force all the way into this. Light armors, Bulldog for Calm, everything invested right now on this round. What is the plan out of the timeout? It looks like some early fighting here for Mound, a Seize Nade combo. Not going to catch it.
He gets away with that one there. Maybe even the paint shell follow-up, not there. Kesnet doesn't opt to go for it. Poison Orb now. Klaus was hoping to cross, but he gets a spraying from Com.
Things getting dangerous. If we were in the old meta, he'd have a Sky to get him back to 100, but not right now, as the Fade has proven far more useful. Both teams running the meta comp of the moment, and it's just going to be a quiet contact back up into C, and Melser drawing attention on A, opening the door while the wall is up to give him some safety.
It's not going to pull anyone across. Lev have kept 3 players over on this part of the map. He's a lockdown in the prescribed location. Aspas doesn't look like he has the angle he feels to take it out. He's going to back away instead. He wasn't advanced enough on the site, so here come Crew. Trudging on in.
What a great attack round so far. Melser making that noise, playing off the wall, having the TP to get with the rest of the team while they get the free sight of the lockdown. This is so nice. And then Klaus has the pit for post-plant.
This is so oppressive.
Fantastic play right now from Crew. Great round up until this point.
Aspas has to dive in, take a deep breath. It's going to be a TP coming out now. It's actually going to be cancelled. Cloud's going to be brought down early. He has the box position, and it turns out to be a 1-for-1. Kesnet on the side is going to be there, though. It's Mazzino v Kesnet, the 1v1. Mazzino would love to try and get up on the box, get a different angle here, but time is ticking down. It's none of it left!
And he is him. Kesnet is just an absolute animal.
Moments like that, tough to recreate. Tough to sort of break down, understand if you're Leviatán, it was close, but not close enough. And now, all that cash is lit on fire and thrown out the window. The Recon struggling.
And these are the two best teams in Americas. And listen, you want to see what the result, of course, is going to be. Who's going to win? But also, you want to see which duelist is going to come out with the best stats of this, which one performed the best. So far, Aspas and Kesnet each, they've exchanged one fantastic map, and now on to the third. Kesnet beginning to steal the show with the inflection wheel!
And they're going to stay, why not? He forced back, eventually taken down by the paint shell. Shy says, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, they say. I'll take those odds.
Bomb grenade out.
Shy trying to force takes off that angle, but he's able to get there. And the thrifty for Leviatán. Off this hairbrain pushed out A main.
And I was not ready for that whatsoever. Neither were Crew, but you have to think that they maybe could have just taken that a little more slowly or with a little bit more caution. Just haphazardly walking through the wall there to their demise.
And they should recognize this. Why? Because they do the same thing.
Stolen away.
On Crew's eco rounds, they all fire up those pistols and they take part of mid. They take these fights. Fort there removed. It's out of the way. This time Leviatán not quite as aggressive. Down A long. But still maintain a significant presence. They might be looking to play off this paranoia here. Crew is staying grouped, and Mazzino's shoulder peek gives him the confirmation.
Oh, and Kesnet gonna find that first blood onto Mazzino, removing those smokes. Trades back forth now into B. Shy with the molly even to get that advantage back. And it's Heat who's just been maintaining a little bit of control towards Rubble, going to allow the rest of the team to gather up so they can retake this space now. Try and go through tree into this A hit.
Spread thin. The spread's so thin.
The man with it all on his shoulders, an ultimate in his hands if he needs it.
What opportunity will you have to make use of it, though? Okay, they can't double swing off the satchel from Kesnet. He's a couple seconds too fast. What up off this shutdown with a showstopper in hand. It's still a 2v2, though. Cover here on the wrap. Shy in deep trouble now. The Nightfall confirms. One player in pit, one coming up A long. He gets the first 1v1. Turret here to take contact for him, but Com is going to tether him in place. Shy looking for the plant. He's going to get it. Com is going to have to take his time, and here's the swing.
Oh. And 2 rounds in a row, opportunity for outrageous clutch from Shy, but just comes up short both times. And Leviatán again, just by a hair, bringing things back in a crucial 1 versus 1. Aspas, the man to do it.
You've got to believe he has that swing off the showstopper. You think he gets there?
I can't believe he didn't get a kill with that. I don't understand how that ultimate works. I'm going to be honest. How did he not kill Klaus with that rocket? Still, though, Crew's economy good enough for another buy. They have 3 huge ultimates online right now in the lockdown and the nightfall. The showstopper just to top things off for a big exec. They've got to feel like they can lock this one up right now and crack the economy of Lev.
Mazzino solo, trying to take some mound position. This is very risky, and he knows it too.
See mound control going to be gained here from Crew. It looks like they want to go a little bit fast. No, they're going to back things off just then. Slow things down 30 seconds in, but they're going to root Melser into this position to keep control.
They were worried about those boxes. They even seized it to confirm. So we have drag players for Leviatán over to the C side of the map here. This is going to leave Com in a bit of a compromising position as Crew start to take some more strides towards A. Is it a pump fake? This might play into Leviatán's hands, but slowly King is drifting across to B.
Toxins going up.
The crew have essentially just fully cut noise. They really didn't do anything towards A except for put the wall up.
Lev aren't buying it.
Moment. And this Nightfall's gonna come in. It's gonna be a lot of pressure on Mazzino, the backside anchor.
This is fast. Mazzino never was going to be ready for that. The Nightfall came in, cuts that noise. Here's the lockdown combo now from both sides. This could get a little awkward. King wants to try and find a timing to swing from door, but already crew have conceded that mount presence. Still a player detained though. No chance to capitalize. Kesnet will be covered by the rest of crew, and in they come. Leviatán now lockdownless. We're unsure if there was action happening at the rest of the map, but they didn't cancel.
Yeah, Lev were actually pulling off there for a moment. They're gonna have to retake now, 4 versus 5. Not a ton of utility to do so with. Aspas has a nade, there's a haunt in the hands of Calm. Similarly, not much for crew, but they have the man advantage. They can post up in the crossfires. If they just trade out by the numbers, they should be winning this.
It's a 4v4 though, because Shy is not in a position to intervene, and there's not a flank on the way. Eventually Shy starts to realize that, but here comes the push onto the side. Pitter patter, little footsteps down. Leviatán step up, and Tex, beautiful from Tex. Melsa though, almost salvages it. Aspas can shut the round down, and Leviatán, brick by brick, have built their way back into this game.
3 rounds in a row, down to a 1 versus 1 that Lev has been able to claim. Clutch after clutch after clutch for them.
Stay safe.
All ultimates expended from both teams there in what was an absolute melee on the
This is
seaside.
haymaker after haymaker, Wyatt. Okay, Mazzino, he is looking skyward there, so he's ready for that.
I mean, the speed that Kesnet came in with it. I mean, he looked like he was the one with a teleport, not Mazzino the Omen. How fast he got into that site. And now with 3 in a row for Lev, it's Coach Adam for crew calling a timeout. And I was speaking highly of him before, and he really does deserve that praise. A really sound head on his shoulders has brought this team from, I mean, we give this narrative every time, but it's because it's wild, which is last year. He joined the team pretty early on. They couldn't get a win in their entire Americas stage. 0-9, had that LCQ run. But right now, this is the most consistent crew that we have ever seen in the history of the game. They've always had those flash in the pan moments, but they've never been able to do it week after week after week, like we're seeing right now against the best in Americas. Leviatán, they are the other team in that conversation. Are they the best in Americas? They very well may be.
Funny how the balance of power has shifted. Think of the teams Americas sent to Madrid and where they are now. The tides, they are changing. Leviatán and crew are here to capitalize.
So we're gonna have that early nade down A from Aspas. And in the meantime, see what the rest of the team opts to do. The one way is gonna come up here as well. Mazzino throwing that into A main. So these 2 players gonna gain control, and that haunt lineup comes in from B as well. Firmly in control of the A side in the map, but an even exchange as crew work their way over into C.
Time being bought here by Leviatán. Those defensive smokes to see. There's a heavy killjoy utility, but just the one player there. Klaus here trying to keep Leviatán interested in what's going on at A-Long. Eventually, Aspas and Mazzino looking for, you're gonna get a bit more than the catnip. Like at the whole darn thing. Backing away now, they know there's something brewing.
They're gonna molly for back, rubble, Prowler as well. Try and reclaim this space, or at the very least, force Lev back. And that is what they're gonna be able to do. A lot of utility here expended from crew. Look at this now from Lev. Triple crossfire setup right now.
Crew can't afford another pump feint, not with the time left in the round.
If this wall goes down, they're gonna have 3 angles to contend with.
Here we go. Curtain comes down, and the show has only just begun. Class here on the swing, but again, that off angle's so hard to break. Aspas with a satchel over the top. One more close is going to knock Shy off his footing. Absolutely splendid from Leviatán.
Just baited them all the way into that trap. Cut the noise. Crew felt comfortable walking up off of that wall. They had an idea that a setup like that could be in play. You saw Kesnet, he had his crosshair prepped for someone in the baby door, but Leviatán sprung that trap on them. 4 in a row now. The momentum in this game just constantly going back and forth, and on the final round, crew with 4 Guardians. There are some paper-thin walls on this map, though, to be fair.
All right, just an aid thrown out here. Door being cycled by Mazzino. When he gets the information, Melza reveals himself to that haunt that came from the B site. Com had the line. But Leviatán this time, not so interested in fighting over the baby door area. No presence in those off angles. They want to play to the site.
That boombot gonna get a bit of info. A prowler was used as well from Com over at the stairs side. And right now, Leviatán, they have heard so much noise over at A. They are pretty steadfast in these positions. Cycling one way is a tree.
That's obnoxious.
Mazzino, paranoia to force him back now.
Mazzino cannot play off that one way, cannot hold that line, and that has allowed Crew to get in through True. They're all converging. All 5 of them are coming. You can hear the thundering of footsteps. It's a 1-for-1 for now. Mazzino forced back, very low, and he's about to take a lot of contact, and was still able to find one. Ridiculous. Melza here playing from below. That smoke's going to give him the cover he needs for his team to get this plant. Tex is making his way over towards stairs here. It's going to be a minute before he's set up to capitalize. Well, that off angle. King tries for a little bit of spray. But we do have a lot of crossfire set up to cover pit, to cover heaven. And now we have the smoke refreshed. Leviatán are going to have to go for something here. They're going to have to throw caution to the wind and step up to the plate. Here's Klaus, though, beautifully done. Tex able to trade it now, looking over towards Tree. Kesnet's going to be there. Tex now under the gun. But he's got a powerful one in his grip. Might look to half, might look to stick. Just a unbelievable correction.
How the hell does he do that? Tex has been playing with so much more confidence, so much more gusto than earlier in the season. There were a lot of moments where it felt like watching his POV. You know this guy is an aimer, but he would just be going for kind of awkward crouch sprays. He wasn't going for these taps that he's kind of known for. And now, late in the season, in this game especially, it looks like he's really feeling himself with the aim, finally. That is obscene.
A bit of salute.
The salute, that's all he's gonna give him.
Hey, he gave him a hero's burial at the very least here. Crew and Leviatán, they are going at it, as they say in the homeland, hammer it and tongs. And again, Crew looking so transformed here in stage 1. Let's get a quick word from Kesnet here why he feels like Heat is such a difference maker on this Crew roster.
Creo que tenemos una personalidad bastante parecida, que no le tenemos miedo a ningún rival. Y nada, como que los dos tenemos una sinergia porque nos conocemos hace bastante, lo conozco hace 7 años. Y nada, creo que vamos los dos juntos para adelante y ya si me matan a mí, tengo él que me tradee, si lo matan a él, nos tradeamos entre los dos, entonces eso creo que es la sinergia que tenemos.
We've seen that played out multiple times over the course of this series, and this map especially. I think that Heat, you know, the contact through smoke over towards A stairs into the site after Kesnet got traded out by him. It's kind of nice to see they've added that kind of explosiveness to their arsenal.
And there was a long time ago where Heat was actually the star duelist of Brazil, the guy on the international stage that looked like the man who could carry Brazil deep in a tournament. And again, that was a long time ago, and since then, unfortunately for him, it had been a bit of a career decline to the point where this is the first time that he wasn't on one of the top 3 Brazilian teams, didn't have a team coming into this season. First time just absolutely nowhere to go, and it was Crew needing a man, and he stepped up, and he looks like a totally new player. And listen, sometimes that's what it takes. You need to be reminded that you're but a speck in the universe to be humbled and come back stronger. And that is exactly what he's done. And on a role he never played before. A great first half from him. We'll see if he can continue it into the second.
Those duelist tendencies still shine through. They still become evident in so many occasions on this map. Just to rehash what we saw, Leviatán were embedded, anchored on that A site there, and Tex was able to come out on top with a ungodly flick to win a 1 versus 1, which is, I'd love to know how many rounds have come down to 1v1s. I would say the majority of them on Lotus so far.
And for Leviatán, Tex and Osbos both with sheriffs in hand. This is something they love to do on the pistol rounds. Gonna forgo that utility to go for some headshots. And look at this pinch actually from Crew.
It's going to be Shy and Heat getting involved. 3 for Shy.
Wow.
And that explosion through door. That's going to be a tough one to bounce back from. Com goes, all right. Well, I guess it's on me again. And it's going to be all of Crew. Set up here with crossfires on that C-mound. Be virtually impossible to break, and this is what you should expect from a crew defense side. Proactivity is a word we're throwing around a lot. It doesn't do it justice, Wyatt. It's almost crazed what we see from them.
It is at times, and it does feel crazed, but there is a cohesiveness to it, and it's not always with those big utility plays on defense where you're seeing a flash come over top, and there's a paranoia, and there's a jet dash, and he's coming out of sweat. Like, oftentimes it is just really good swings for each other from different angles at the same time. Confidence in each other, getting good trades. Here it was off this really nice paranoia coming through doors, completely catching Leviatán off. Shy right now, the top fragger in the server after that pistol round, and crew, both pistols now on Lotus.
They were not ready.
When that's the case, you gotta feel like they should be winning the map, right? I mean, converted the first pistol, into a bonus round win as well.
Leviatán managed to just find their footing. We talked about it, like, you know, brick by brick, by the skin of their teeth. Other similar idioms. Melsa here, playing that rubble position, advantaged in terms of weaponry. And Lev are reluctant to expose themselves to that kind of golf at this time. They have a refresh on that one-way.
And Lev fully back up just to dodge that boom bot. And in the meantime, you have Mizzino over on C throwing a smoke down, which cuts off that waterfall back sight angle just to try and draw a little bit of attention. There are two players watching there, but the rest of crew, of course, are trying to lock down A here. And they're doing a great job of it. Lev don't have an ounce of map control.
Crew preempted every little poke and prod there from Lev with some high-value utility. Now we are going to raw contact over to C, essentially. Really not much to work with. Maybe a haunt, one more smoke left from Mizzino. And even that gets delayed because of the poison orb. You get nothing to work with. Nothing in that Leviatán pantry with which to cook. A crew is on that Michelin star hype. Just a 1-for-1. So it's really only going to be Shy here for now, and two players coming out through Waterfall. Lev get themselves a post-ban, an unlikely turn of events here. And again now, gonna throw their poison orb up on the side to section it up even further. Lev's starting to go up a gear. Crooklin into this though, and he wants to take a fight. He wants to get involved, and again, it's always seemed to be traded, but Keston will fall down after it, getting the 1-for-1. Now it's on Shy, who only has the Sheriff to work with. Like an angel of death, he drops down. Claims text for himself.
Don't interrupt my work.
Not much help to work with, but a nice amount at the very least. He's going to get pinched from either side. Dangerous. Leviatán with the thrifty. Oh, this is far from done.
Shy has been put in so many clutch situations like that, but they've been quite tough. Nicely done at the very end to pinch him on the site while trying to get that defuse, and Leviatán...
What util did they make that side here?
They just fully eco them back. It was crew, they were so distracted on the other side of the map that they were able to get in relatively unscathed. And then just taking those close range duels with the bad weapons were enough. Falling apart for crew. They had they had an advantage there to begin to run away with the game in the second half, and it fully slips away.
Let play the numbers game and overwhelm on C. This time, though, we see Melsa attempt to stake his claim to Mount early. But once again, weight of numbers will force him to reconsider. That's another orb for Aspas here. 3 away from that showstopper.
Taking all of C-Mounder Leviatán and now going for the side execute. Prowler to clear that back box, the TP over, the satchel in, the paranoia. All of your standard recipe for that C-site hit. Gonna be able to get the spike down with ease, and crew can see what damage they can try to do now. As when you win that eco, your economy starts to get a big advantage, being able to carry some of those rifles over. So
no smokes at all. Prowlers, yes, but hard to find value off those at this time. Aspas here will wait until they run into his crosshair. It's always Keston somehow, annoyingly nipping at the heels of Aspas here, even on just that pistol. Giant looking okay. It's down to Kesnit though, and Com a little muted in impact over the course of this game. Chooses this spot nicely to get involved.
Yeah, not a ton of discussion about Calm so far, really, as you said, but he really is in a hard supportive role right now. His opportunities to shine individually have really been few and far between on this team, and oftentimes just...
Well, Lev couldn't capitalize on him playing in tree with the Odin those quite few rounds, right?
Yeah.
Crew never walked into the trap play.
All right, Crew now, they've got the buy online. Shy, pretty close to that lockdown, but Kesnet is the one with an ultimate in hands. That showstopper, which he is so potent with. Some utility being exchanged in A, but Lev are going to walk away with that control of the map. Getting King into back rubble.
Big
rounds. The rest of the team, they're going to group up off that space that he's garnered.
Slowly King advancing here. He might have a timing on Heat. Heat clever enough here not to get caught, but goes very, very low, and now that space has been claimed. Lev have one route into A secured, and they've just walked up in tree.
And you can see Meltzer is pushed all the way out of C, so very comfortable to rotate to A right now, our Crew.
Lev might want to move quickly here. They have slowed up the tempo, but Meltzer shows himself, and now the pressure for the attackers is going to mount. Klaus more than happy to spray, back away. Kesnet obviously out of the picture. Ain't great for Crew, but they've got more to step up in his stead. Well, counting Klaus perhaps. And he has to swing into 3 from drop. This is getting ugly, but Meltzer has a riot from that long flank. He will group up with Shy now and try and get into this side. The timing from Mazzino is prescient. And Meltzer now might just have to pull the plug.
And it was that smoke timing that was so awkward. Falling off now, Meltzer. Nothing can be done. But frankly, he had massive impact in that round. He was the one setting Crew up for what could have been a win, given he just walked all those, he got all the way out C, got them the info on where they were going to go, was able to get that pick as well.
Just couldn't get there in time. That was when Lev went up a gear, right? I gotta say, just the damage on Heat, then you throw the snakebite in stairs, you take control of A through door at the same time. Leviatán really understood their win condition there.
Now with a bit of a lead, our Leviatán. This thing is absolutely going the distance, though, between our 2 top seeds of the Alpha and Omega groups. The 2 top teams, both from LATAM. Live with the mixed roster, of course, but listen, they have the LATAM roots for sure. The core of the team, King and Mazzino, who have just been so good for them this year. Mazzino in particular is stepping up so much late in the season. King, you always expect that high level of consistency from him, but now Crew, they're relegated to this bad buy, losing the last. They have the hero rifle, which Meltzer passed over to Kesnet from the save, and it's a deep push down mound. Looks like they may even want to fight out of this.
And that attack-sided smoke to deny the advantage the one way otherwise would give. Tech's not extending any further into it, but this could be ugly! No chance to get away! No damage done even! Uncharacteristic moment from Tex there. And all of that map now controlled by Crew. They're going to go for it here. They know they can lean into a weakly held side. It's just going to be Heat. He'll have to find his spot very carefully.
Spike planted.
How do they want to post up here with this man disadvantage? Okay, Heat with a massive kill, going to be able to recover that rifle as well. A 3rd one now in the hands for Crew on this retake.
Looking perhaps for a gun to pick up. He didn't find it. It's going to be the showstopper as Aspas cannons himself over to the top of A. Looking for more, but it's not being offered for the time being. Kesnet playing it safe around that hero rifle. And eventually, Heat emerges once more from stairs to take yet another. That is beautiful. Heat for 4. The sole player at A gets his comeuppance.
Another round where he's the man who steps up for Crew. Lev ecoed them a couple ago, and Crew do it right back to them to get right into the game.
Oh, buddy.
It looked all but certain that Lev would be a 10 after that one. And it's not like they made a terrible decision either. I mean, this push out comes, Tex is suddenly overwhelmed by 4 Crew players assailing him. So they hit the nitrous into the A site, get it quickly. But they just lost so many rifles at that point with the man disadvantage. I mean, Mazzino took a big risk pushing into that smoke, to be fair. Possibly high risk, medium reward in a situation like that. And he just gets caught out for it, exposed and loses the rifle. Odin now in the hands of Klaus over in tree. Very common to have that over there. Given you can just spam through the door, the walls onto the orb as well. A lot of contention for C Mound, but Crew are the ones, excuse me, to regain control, just playing off the one-way smokes.
Yeah, they really insist on it there. Absolutely no interest in giving that space up, but now this should be pretty ponderous from Lev. They'll slowly scale up here into A. We're going to get some action here as Heat will be shoulder checking this from stairs.
And you can see the Crew players that focus on rotating more towards B and A. KJ set up on B again. That Nightfall is going to come in, which is going to force Klaus back. Not going to be able to get any spam off with that Odin. But look at this. He's trying to come in really fast to support him actually in the site. They're trying to hold this thing down.
He's interrupting their spacing. They're not expecting him to be so close, and Heat's already found two. Kesnet's there as well. Oh, buddy. Crew. Strap yourselves in, folks. This is about to get wilder and wilder. Going out. Mizzino now awkwardly a long way away from that spike.
30 seconds
Were we
left.
in a safer spot? They might have considered a save here. There's a bit of money to work with, at least for Leviatán. This is looking ugly. I'll be straight with you.
Player standing.
Just Mizzino now, able to get the trade. That's all she wrote.
Does Mizzino dare go for the TP, pick up the spike? No, he doesn't. That would have been a mad play, and I was, is he crazy enough? Is he crazy enough? But no, he isn't. It's Heat to finish things and finish it off with 4. I mean, long have Crew been searching for that last piece of the puzzle. Things never came together holistically for them over an extended period of time until Heat joined this team. 19-4-11 on Fate, on a new role. Career absolutely rejuvenated for him. He's found his place finally on a team that is at the top right now, tied with Leviatán, the 2 best teams we have in Americas.
Who better to fit into this proactive defense style than Heat? It almost feels like he was made for it. Or maybe he just molded himself to be exactly what his team needed, which is even more impressive, I'd suggest.
4 players from Crew pushing down A to control that part of the map, and they're happy to have Klaus just play back site, get that information, and fight is time for the retake, which they have a Nightfall to play off of. I mean, Heat at this point, he may as well have had 20 Nightfalls in this game. I mean, he's just had so many, and he's got another. And now more than ever, Crew can play this passive and just wait for the retake off it.
Lev will take their time, and again, Crew more than happy to allow them to do that. They don't have any flank pressure, yes, but they can still play from behind this Nightfall. Aspas wants none of it. With the spike down now, Leviatán. This is difficult to do, to play off the site on Lotus. They're taking risks in doing so. Mizzino trends back in. Mel's are also in a deadly pinch position should that come to fall. Oh my goodness, it's Heat again. Another quick double to handicap Lev and the rest of that retake.
I mean, the man is absolutely unstoppable. Excellent retake from Crew, getting in from all of the various angles. Pressure on all sides for Lev with the man disadvantage, with the gun disadvantage.
There's no gun disadvantage on that screen. My guy.
No, you're damn right about that. Definitely not the one I was talking about, but he just holding on to that Nightfall. Again, it's just Crew playing to their win cons. They just have such an understanding of what to do in these rounds. They never overcomplicate things either, which I really do appreciate about them. They're a team that you're never going to see them really overheat or overcook around. And it's always to their advantage that they're doing so.
Crew aren't fighting from out this time. In fact, it's Kesnet over at A. And we're seeing he and Melza take those forward positions. There's a window here to capitalize upon. Leviatán have not entered B once here on this half. Mayhap that's about to change, but that alarm bot is what Mizzino is looking for there.
Yeah, he heard it go down, but isn't able to actually get rid of it. So that's going to be quite the nuisance. It's going to provide constant information for them. One-way cycled on A, but Meltzer going to feel the pressure. King, crucial entry kill, and now Kesnet on the rush towards Baby Door to pick this angle up.
King has a feeling for the timing, though. He doesn't overextend to expose himself to Baby Door. But Leviatán trend back, and Crew seem to have a sense for this too. Shiloh has to contact peek this wide. He's got no other choice. That's so wide. So punishable.
So unnecessary. And now Klaus to save off the entire hit. 5 players.
How has this happened? Heat has to do it yet again. Door flung wide open.
30 seconds.
He announces himself with a flourish and a kill. Mazzino's seen better days. He's low, but Tex is waiting for the repeak. It's up to Kesnit now. And Leviatán are going to commit. 17 seconds left. Kesnit now in the 1 versus 3, trying to split them up. The King is no slouch.
And with that man down, with King finding that first kill, I mean, sure, you want to make a play, you want to try to find an advantage, but that was haphazard to say the least from Shy on that wide swing late into that round.
He has to get info somehow, or at least he feels that way, right?
Heading into the next, Osbos is 1 away from that Raze ultimate, so gathered up at C Mound, Leviatán, you have to expect they're going to be getting that orb over into his hands, trying to execute into a site with it, and then using King's Viper's ult, that pit for the post plant.
Leviatán have never insisted on fighting for Mound at the start of these rounds. They're never willing to take that risk. Again, crew push up. Leviatán just throw the counter smoke and give it up.
King had gotten that space on A as well, so working off of that now is the rest of the team feeling comfortable to gather up there. Oh my god, and
that was stairs.
I mean, what was that, a jump peek, a jiggle, just gets picked off by Osbos?
He's finally punished for that. And they're going to cancel on a beat here. This is big. Now again, Viper's Pit post-plant is on the table for Leviatán. And they've got good anti-flank pressure. Showstopper now for Osbos to dissuade any upper presence.
Really good call from Lev there, that kill onto A, and just the pace at which you can get from A and pivot into B through Baby Door. It's just so easy.
Are they going to give this up?
Yeah, they are.
I think they might.
Frankly, they have to. If you look at the economy, Heat and Melser, nothing in the bank.
Cover going out.
Not too much in the hands of the other 3 either. So they're guaranteeing that next round, they can get a good buy. And then for the one after that too, in case they lose it and Lev get to 12, they'll still have money for a decent buy after the fact. Can't be mad at this. I mean, realistically, what are they gonna do pushing into that pit? With Heat down, no Prowlers trying to root a Viper out of there, no C's. It's just going to be next to impossible. Yeah, they just, nothing in the kit to take care of that situation, to handle things as they would have wanted. And now they're going to go ahead and take this timeout. Coach Adam calling another one. I mean, he's had good timing on these, frankly. Another pivotal moment.
They might be thinking about their all-orb strategy for this round. They secure one and Kesnit gets a kill. Bam, they're online for a showstopper once more. They can blow straight through Leviatán. They also have the option of, hey, can we just use a effective defensive Viper's Pit here? Maybe throw it C main. Force them either to end B or funnel them to the other extremity.
Yeah, when we get back in, Klaus is 1 orb away from that pit, so you can imagine that they'll try to fight maybe over Mount, get that into his hands, get the pit down, something along those lines. He's been playing over a tree with the Odin, but it's just been ultimately ignored by Leviatán.
Tom had the same issue.
He really did, yeah. Both of them just unable to get any value on that side of the map.
They're not walking into each other's trap plays, and no one's getting limped by those A-long haunts either way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're completely right here. 11-10 is the score for Leviatán. The 2 best teams here we have in Americas, the last week of stage 1 before the playoffs. The first seed of each group, the 2 best teams from LATAM. And it's only right that it comes down to the wire like this. We've seen Mazzino on some of these attack rounds with the Omen ultimate. They go for some crazy plays where he teleports deep. Kind of looking to that to see if they try to pull something out crazy here at the very end. They're going to go for a full push here onto Rubble, take this control early on. Maybe Klaus can finally find something to do with this Odin over in tree.
But no orb control, in fairness. Inside tree, of course, Klaus. I'd love to get his teeth into Leviatán properly. Only the 4 kills over the course of this map. It's been a quieter outing for the IGL.
And look at this, 4 players from Crew setting up a crossfire here onto AF. Just all this noise made from Lev, but they're peeling back. They're going back to Mound.
Walls come up pretty quickly. And again, Leviatán have managed to pull a lot of attention to that side of the map. Melsa might be in a bit of trouble here. They're going to descend upon him. He's able to TP out of the seas. Sigh of relief. As Crew can now play more defensively around it. See, Leviatán might bounce back to A again.
A moment of relief and crucial utility extracted from the Leviatán attack. The paranoia and the seas, but crucially, that paranoia. And now grouping back up at A.
Time is short.
Wall's currently down. They just have to contact up. Crosshair's trained on these angles where Crew previously had their crossfires set up, but they've fallen back.
There.
Now it's Klaus and Heat
30
with it
seconds
all
left.
to do, digged into the site.
Crew yet to sniff this out, but they're about to know exactly where their bread is buttered. Aspas, nade over to A, non-committal still for Leviatán. It's always the option of a B finish, but that seems absurd from this standpoint. They're going for it. Straight into Baby Door. They're going to get some attention here immediately from Upper. That's checked though by Mazzino. They know Shy is waiting for them. 6 seconds left. Shy in a position to disrupt, but can't see the plant for it. Aspas is waiting for him. 4 up for Crew to make this retake, but Leviatán are squeaky clean with it. Paranoia, can Heat capitalize? No targets. King shows him only the barest top of his head. And Leviatán are 1 step away from shutting the book on this rivalry for now.
And it's Crew, they thought they had a timing to flood into the site there, but they just weren't in positions to actually be trading off of each other. They thought they were going to catch players on Lev unaware because of how drained the clock was. But it was actually them exposed, walking into these angles being held. First Shy, then Kesnet. The dominoes fall, and Aspas makes it look all too easy in the very end, and Leviatán are on match point. Because of that earlier save, though, Crew have been able to bring a reasonable buy here to what may be their last round. They have a Guardian, they've got a Bulldog, but they do have Klaus's Viper's Pit to play with.
Orb denied there very, very intentionally by Leviatán. And they are setting up for B. Smoke towards Baby Door. Crew have to have a sense for this. Aspas has gone straight in, not to Upper. They're actually grouping up to receive the push here from Goblin. Shy explodes. A 1-for-1 here. Kesnet grouping up and is going to satchel in with a showstopper now. That is stunning. How does Tech survive it? Death-defying antics. But it's a 3 versus 3. And now we're headed over towards C. Cue the Benny Hill theme song is left now. Find a chance to plant. We have a 3 versus 3 with the series on the line.
These post-plant positions are fantastic. Mazzino, Paranoia, Calm Utility as well. They've flipped the site on its head, and this pit, it's going to allow them to get into the site, but no more than that. Clock ticking.
They're still gonna have to fight for a Wyatt. Melsa has some mobility with those shrouded steps. Klaus with an orb up on the spike. It's gonna get a tickle. Mazzino trying to fight through that smoke. They're going to be patient about it. They know these are just fakes. Heat's on the corner, but Con comes alive, and what a time to do it! The Sea Dragon rears its head. The true tyrant of Americas.
Leviatán cementing themselves in this very moment as the best team in Americas. And I'm sure there are people out there who would argue that right now they are the best team in the world. But something you cannot argue is that Aspas right now is the best player in Valorant. Hands down, there is no one putting up numbers like him right now that's even close in the world, except for Kesnet, who he just bested on Lotus, bested on Ascent. They take this down 2-1. The 2 Titans of America, the 2 Titan duelists in the game, and it goes down to the wire.
I feel for the people that have to clean up after this titanic struggle between these rosters. Ooh, buddy. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. We finally get to take the test of these 2 against one another. And again, we know Leviatán, they have already secured their spot at the top of their group. The same for Crew. So we're likely to see something like this happen not too far in the future.
I mean, we have an opportunity for 2 LATAM teams to qualify to the upper bracket of the playoffs.
Unprecedented.
Each of them only need 1 win to make it through. So much importance in this game for Leviatán to get the win because it's going to allow them in that upper bracket to be straight into the double elim portion. So even if things go wrong initially, they're going to have that second chance, which is so crucial. Same for Crew, obviously, as well. But for them, sadly, their undefeated run, they were 5-0. They finally take their first loss of the season. And I mean, juxtaposed to Leviatán, who started with a loss, and then after that, win after win after win after win.
And it wasn't just these insignificant wins. That C9 game, yeah, rough. Then it was Sentinels, NRG, G2, and now Crew. There are some high-profile names on that list who arguably have trended in the opposite direction to Leviatán, but talk about a changing of the guard here in the Americas region. That Super Week really threw things for a loop. And it's crazy to see who is risen to the top.
And you could argue, too, did those teams slip or did Lev just rise above them? You know, it's very reasonable to argue in either direction, but you can't argue that Lev have just transformed into the monster that they looked like they could be when this super team was formed. When you had the core, the best of that original LATAM team in King and Mazzino, who has just been phenomenal these past few weeks.
King was 21-3 on Breeze, or something like that. They lost that map.
I mean, yeah, which is a tragedy, but listen, it'll look good on the stats, it'll look good on VLR, that's
Pad them out. We're having a great time up here, but our time is now done. Let's head down to Elizabeth, down to the stage. They're standing by for a Verizon and post-match interview.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm here with one of the Kingslayers, Com of Leviatán. How does it feel to end a team's undefeated streak? And a team as good as Crew?
It feels really good. I think I had a pass with that last year, so I think coming into this year and having like similar success is very nice.
Well, I have to ask you, your fiance, who is sitting right there, said that Jojmo is the last one on his list. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. And then I realized, I don't think that list is very nice. So can you explain further for me what that means?
It's basically all my XEG teammates. I've been Boosty, I've been Ethan and Demon 1. Now it's just Jaw and Potter. It's the last for the Thanos glove.
Thanos glove?
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say to them?
I love you all like brothers, but obviously you are my enemies now.
Damn. Clapping, like, yes, enemies. So you have secured the first seed going in. Obviously, you haven't made Shanghai, but you want to, and you believe you will.
Yeah.
Who are some other teams you think are going to go to Shanghai with you, if and when you do?
I think 100T are looking really good. They look really confident, and they're having fun, you know? Like, that's something that I think is big. And obviously, Boosty wants to probably get back at me, but I'll be staring at him the whole time if we play.
Okay, that's fair. I want to ask you about that sort of like fun vibe, because I was talking again to your fiance Madison, and she said you're kind of like the vibes version of the team.
Yeah.
And right before we were interviewing her, you were joking about like doing the salsa or something like that. Talk to me about like the vibes and just the general gist of the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall it's like trying to avoid everyone being so stiff.
Yeah.
And, you know, just like having fun with the game, you know? It's something like I feel we would always stiffen up, but now I'm just like, I get wild. I'm trash talking across the stage. It's just, I don't even know.
And one last question for you. You mentioned on your stream in between Kickoff and Stage 1 that you dealt with a very, very scary arm injury that you said you lost complete feeling in your arm for a few days. Talk to me about that.
Right before Split 1 started, my left arm, like, I fell down on a scooter.
Happens.
Yeah. But basically, I was in the office and like I had no feeling in my left arm. I couldn't bend it. I couldn't do anything with it. And then honestly, I was I had like a little panic attack from it. It was really hard. Yeah. I thought I was done for the season, but you know, God blessed me and I'm able to play still. And
you were saying on your stream that your team was there for you as well. They were so supportive.
Yeah, everyone was making sure I was okay.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations again, Com. Incredible. The Kingslayer. It's an incredible performance again. Well, we have your teammate Tex on the analyst desk. So, friends, please take it away.
You got injured?
I think that's what he's talking about.
All right, so we're back here with Tex from Leviatán. Congratulations. Oh, that was cool.
They're cooking.
They're cooking. Oh, man, what a great game. First things first, I just want to say real quick, congratulations. How did it feel to pick up that win?
Yeah, it felt good. I definitely think it felt great for our org.
Yeah.
Our org is probably partying like crazy right now at their watch parties, but yeah, definitely felt good.
As they should. All right, so before we continue forward with the rest of the interview, at the start of the day, we had a bet going for our first match, and we have the results here. Now, you are apparently an evil person who likes mint chocolate chip.
He's not evil.
And
He's right.
Baby Bay has to, because he picked NRG to win over 100
Thieves.
This
guy's so deranged.
It smells like toothpaste.
Losing a bet.
It
even smells like toothpaste.
I smell it from here.
You love it, right?
It smells so good.
So you can enjoy that as like a victory
Wait,
ice cream.
insane. What?
He's gonna have to suffer and have the ice cream.
It's not that bad.
Yo, who got the toothbrush though?
Hey, right here.
I'm about to leave your minty
in there.
fresh.
Yo, it's so good.
All right, well, we can go ahead and continue forward.
How
with the
much of
interview
this
at
do I
point.
have to eat? I'm so sorry.
You gotta
I
eat
think
the whole
every.
bowl, dog.
I tell you what, every
the whole
time.
bowl?
Yes.
Not the whole bowl.
Yes, the
That's
whole bowl.
evil.
That's a treat.
I tell you what, whenever you
You're trying
ask
to double sabotage me. Once with this taste in my mouth that is awful, and two, my stomach's gonna be destroyed. Like,
You're
Hope
complaining.
you're not lactose intolerant,
I
buddy.
am, man. Damn.
Welcome to 30.
Why'd I
All
agree
right.
to this? Welcome to 30.
Garbage can on the side. Oh my God. All right, well, brother, let's go ahead and dive into this real fast. You said the org wanted to win, but it felt like, you know, as well. On the other side of the stage, you could see Crew fighting for that undefeated run. Sure. Same question that Com had earlier. How did it feel to be able to take down a team who's undefeated this season?
It's definitely a good feeling. I can see why they're undefeated. They have a lot of momentum. You can just tell when we got into the game, like, they're cooking. Like, they're all in form right now. But yeah, beating an undefeated team always feels amazing. Like, you know, their streak has to end eventually.
Yeah.
So it always feels good being that team, you know?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was lovely. In an interview before your G2 match, King said that he was going to beat G2 for you.
Yep.
Today, did you feel like you wanted to beat Crew for your teammates?
Mazzino. Yep. For Mazzino, especially, like, I know he's friends with them outside the game and stuff, so I kept telling him, I'm like, yo, Mazzino, we're going to beat these kids so you can laugh in Discord later.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Did it feel nice to get to kind of do the same thing back? Because obviously King played great in that G2 game. You got to do the same for them today.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels good, like, you know, cooking for your boy. He played amazing, too. So,
Yeah.
honestly, we all played amazing. We all had huge rounds today. I think we're all really happy, honestly.
You locked the #1 seed now with that match, which means you're one game away from qualifying to Shanghai. From the start of your year, with things falling apart with the guard, then G2, and going off on your own, kind of taking the risk to go and join this Leviatán roster, how does it feel now to be so close, to be able to go to that international event in Tier 1 now?
I can't even contain my smile. Yeah, I mean, it definitely just feels unbelievable. I've been competing for a long time. I'm 24. I've been playing games since I was like 15, 16. You know, I've been laying in my bed when I was like 14, 15, watching CS matches on my phone. I was thinking like, yo, that can be me one day, so.
And it is going to be you. And then there's probably some other kid watching you do that.
Exactly.
So that must feel pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the motivation now for that game in the playoff?
Yeah, so like in Ascension, the little kid came up to me and he's like, dude, I love you, you're my idol. And I gave him my jersey and I was like, you know, at this moment, like, I realize I can impact people's lives, even just playing games. Like,
It's amazing.
You know, people want that to be their career, so.
I want to ask a question. I just want to take a step back. I know we were chopping it up about some serious stuff, but you had a lot of pressure joining this team, and in the beginning of the season, there was a lot of eyes on you and a lot of, you know, not so nice words about how you're playing. So I kind of want to just ask, like, what was the shift in your guys' gameplay? Because it was not just you, it was also Com struggling, and you guys have both stepped it up like crazy, and I got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, I think we just got more comfortable, really. You know, I played on Ascension stage, but it still doesn't compare to America stage. I think Kickoff was just a bad tournament for me, honestly, and I don't know. Everyone in Valorant's kind of recency bias.
Totally.
Like if you have a bad tournament or a bad match, everyone thinks you're terrible. You have
they
one.
do that?
I guarantee you there's people saying Crew are bad right now.
Yeah.
Even though we just had a banger map 3 and
Exactly.
everything.
Probably watching this show.
Exactly. He's saying it right now, typing it. Yeah. Nah, but you know, it's just recency bias. I don't really care. I mean, I didn't play that well in Kickoff, so like, you know, I didn't take it personally. I just knew I had to step it up.
Yeah, now I remember
that.
you came into the team first before Com, right? So there was definitely, I'm not going to front, you know, Leviatán, Latin American organization, Tex. I was like, oh, that throws me off.
Random for sure.
You know, like, was that when you got that opportunity to do it and were in this position, did you feel like, A, you had to do it because, you know, of what other pathway could there be, but B, did you feel confident in that you would be in this position here today when you signed on the dotted line with Leviatán?
Yeah, I was very confident because the first tryout I even played with these guys, they were insane. Like, they weren't even in America. They were playing 150 ping, and we were just dominating. And I was like, you know, I really see... I think King had a 1v5 or something, like ace one tap on Raze, and I was like, yo, I have to join this team.
He's crazy.
How's your Spanish? How's your Spanish? You working on it?
I ain't gonna lie, I've been working on it. I'm
Yo, let's go
nice.
Duolingo all day.
I'm
Yo,
kinda
your boy's out
nice.
there too, man.
Yeah, that and my girlfriend, she teaches me all the specific
Okay,
things.
That's awesome. The last question I wanted to ask is, now playing for this organization for the majority of the stage, going on a run, do you feel like now the LATAM fans are behind you? Do you feel like kind of like integrated in that system with your team?
Yeah, I definitely think most LATAM fans like me, but there's definitely still a group that don't because I'm on a LATAM team, I'm American. They feel like, another LATAM player should get the opportunity. And I mean, I don't completely disagree, honestly, but, I just got picked up for my skill, and that's really it.
And you've proved it game after game.
Appreciate it.
And now look, you guys are qualified for playoffs. Pretty awesome stuff. Actually, let's go ahead and bring up the standings, see where we are right now. So you guys actually locked in #1 seed in the middle of the series, funny enough, when you had a certain amount of, so it was pretty cool there. Of course, Leviatán now finishes in the Omega Group 4-1. That will give them that first place spot alongside their LATAM brethren and crew, who are at 5-1. Gotta say though, I mean that certainly is an incredible achievement here. And also too, when you see the rest of the field, Cloud9 as well, they have locked in their spot officially to Mimi, so they'll be joining in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, Energy, MIBR, Furia officially eliminated at this point, but there's still those slots left. Tomorrow the implications are for G2. If they can win that game, they take the slot. Or if they just win 14 rounds, they're in. But if they win 13, then it's a tiebreaker BO1 of Sentinels. If they win less than that, then Sentinels
It's a good thing we have
in.
someone here who's familiar to give us some perspective.
It's crazy. I mean, the stakes for tomorrow's games for all these different teams are ridiculous.
And here you can actually see the bracket. We'll get your thoughts on that match in a little bit. But you can see the bracket how it plays out. So 1 game for Leviatán and crew. And you qualify for Shanghai, which is wild to think about, considering where Crew was last year, where Leviatán was last year. Awesome stuff.
And not only that, but we are guaranteed a slot in Shanghai for a LATAM team.
Yeah.
W.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's sick.
That actually is pretty. It didn't compute at first, but yeah, you're so right. That's so freaking cool. That's amazing stuff there. All right, well, let's go ahead and see our schedule and what we have coming up for you lovely people tomorrow, because we got C9 versus MIBR to open things up, a battle for pride, if you will. And then it's going to be G2 versus Loud. Want to get your thoughts on that last game. What do you think? Who do you think is going to walk away with the dub? You think G2 is going to pull it off?
Who do you want to win?
Yeah, actually, who do you want?
That is such a banger game.
Because if G2 wins, not only will you have a chance to potentially play G2 and get revenge for yourself, but EG also qualifies in then, and then Com can get revenge too.
Oh, that's just a revenge tour over here.
That is a revenge tour. No, I definitely want G2 to win, I'm not going to lie. Loud are amazing. They're amazing players, but I think it's G2's time, They work hard. They've been a core for so long. I think they deserve it, honestly.
Do you want to be able to play your boys again, too?
I want to play them, too. It's so fun. We just sit in Discord, and then Valen's just like, dude, if you guys had Ninja Diffuse, we would have 2-0'd you. Like, we just, we just make, like, our Discord with NRG, 100 Thieves, and G2 and my team, it's a massacre, like, after matches. It's so fun.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome.
Gotta start hopping in there after matches.
Just cause some problems.
I'm just gonna go in there and just fuel the fire. I'm talking hella shit for no reason. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Swear jar for you.
Excuse me, guys. That might be my first time
Here,
swearing
take another bite,
I'm taking another bite of the chocolate chip.
I'll take a big bite because of that.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. Suffer. Yes, suffer. Baby.
I feel like when I was a kid, my mom would like put soap in my mouth,
Hey, I wonder why, bro. I wonder why.
Because you got a potty mouth
I got
over
some
there.
flashback right now.
Got to fix your act together, boy.
There's one redeeming thing about this, and it is the chocolate chip that you were talking about. Once you get past that mint, and it's just the chocolate,
I'm actually down for a ice cream review show with Tex and Baby Babe. I think that'll be all right.
Say less.
We'll do it.
That's
Let's go.
Dual duels.
Duo duels.
So, guys, that is going to do it for us here today. Tex, thank you so much, brother, for your time. Of course, you shout out to Mimi, Baby Bay, Uber, Wyatt, Riv, Van Silly, Elizabeth, our whole crew for clutching it up as usual. And don't worry, we're going to be back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. 2 great matches. We'll see you then, folks. Take care.
Enjoy your ice cream.
There's that flash of boom bot. The Hawk gets it for him. Oh, it's on his face. It's on it. Nice. Get it off. It is essential. I can't see. What am I doing? I can't see. Yeah. Demon 1 as the last man standing low. They're going to clutch. And it's not going to happen. Bang pushes forward. Gets the kill. For that one, I deserve a meow. Meow. One enemy remaining. Nice. Let's go.
Let's go.
And head-to-head, Crow gets the pick. And 100 Thieves clean it. 2-0 versus Energy.
To tee someone out of position. That is a beautiful little line up there. Nicely done by Klaus, and Kezen have to capitalize.
残り1名
Falling one by one, and my goodness, I call it a compelling matchup. On paper, it's true. Asma swings that wall again, aggressive as ever.
Who?
One enemy remaining.
Even just damage here, he'll be pleased. And a full kill for Mazzino at 6 HP. So much to do. And he's wanting to step up.
Damn, you're doing like the salsa. Okay.
Nice round there.
Not been given too much here. Oh, wait a minute. 10 seconds. Drops to the ground, lifeless eventually. Tex! Unbelievable Tex! Trying to wrap the right-hand side. Klaus not ready for it, but he got his. And Crew are far from done. It all starts with a spark. Might look to half, might look to stick. Just unbelievable correction. How? About it. They know these are just fakes. He's on the corner. But